How are you doing? We good?
Hello, my name is Jamie, and I'm here. Can you hear me? 1, 2, 1, 2.
Choo choo! I'm revealing quite a lot.
Well, I don't particularly want to tell you that, to be honest.
I'm really shit at interviewing, by the way.
Hey, my name's Jazz. Okay, no, can I start again? I paused way too.
You could kind of tell there was an excitement then that this was going to be our home for the next few years.
Hi, I'm Kazra, and Critical Sound returns to Fabric on the 18th of October 2024. Buy a ticket. So the first Critical at Fabric, or the first Critical Sound event that we ever did was in May 2011, and we did Room 3, and it was, I'm going to try and remember the lineup, everyone on the lineup. It was me, Break, Rockwell, Saber, who's now one of the 2 members of Ivy Lab, FD, and Rockwell, and then the MCs were MC Rec and MC Baseline, both of whom were no longer MCs. I hope that night wasn't the one that put them off. And yeah, I'd been coming to Fabric since it opened. I'm old enough to have been here on the opening night, and I queued up for 3.5 hours with my mate to come in. And it was, it was and still is just an incredibly special place. There was nothing else like it, well, certainly that I'd experienced in the UK all those years ago, 25 years ago. And then to be able to do our first ever event here in the third room, and for it to go so well, and it kind of felt like a real moment for me and the label. Particularly when you get a co-sign from a venue like this, it's quite a special thing. So yeah, it's been 13 years since we've done something here. So we've had a little bit of a break, and yeah, it's nice to be back. And I think what makes this club, particularly in London, particularly with the clubbing landscape the way it is that it supports underground music in a space that is, literally underground, but it's a big platform for what we do. And even back then, like the opening night was Planet V, and it was just amazing. And then now you have a label like ours here, and you connect the dots across the years, and like everyone's played here, and it's a real rite of passage. And you feel a sense of privilege not only to DJ here, but to have your label be part of the club's history, and vice versa is something that you can't take for granted. And this place holds a lot of memories. They're really positive, but there's things that happen to this, external things that have happened to this club over the years that have meant it's been under quite a lot of pressure to stay open, and for it to still be here is a testament to the quality of what they do and just how special an experience it can be to come here.
Hello, my name's Adam. Everyone knows me as Badger. I am the label manager for Critical. My earliest memory of Critical must have been about 12, 13 years ago. I hadn't been working for Critical for very long. Kazra asked me to come along. He'd already done a few shows at the venue, and you could kind of tell there was an excitement then that this was going to be our home for the next few years. So we were in room 2. I can't quite remember the details of the lineup, but it was my actual first time at being at Fabric as well. So there was also that element of excitement, sort of coming to this club that was very well known, and so there was this that pre-anxiety of excitement at the same time, and coming into room 2, to a pretty much full room at the time. And it just being this buzz, you know. The sound was on point. The crowd were really up for it, I remember that. Whenever there was a breakdown, you could hear people shouting out, you know, whistling. The vibe was wicked. The staff here are amazing. The hospitality itself is great. And going home very happy and excited for the next one.
Hi, I'm playing in Fabric this October for Critical Sound. So the label first was introduced to me probably back in 2010, when I was actually trying to approach the label many times, because that was my favorite thing, my favorite label. So I was writing a lot of tunes, sending it to Kazra, and just waiting for the response. So yeah, back in 2010 probably, he came back to me and said, "Yeah, I want to sign the tune for you." So that was the.
What tune is it?
That was the tune was. I don't remember what was it called, but it was called 10,000 Years. Yeah, that was the old tune of mine.
Right?
Okay.
Yeah. Hi, it's SMG. You can catch me at Fabric this October for the Critical Sound Fabric 25 years. Yeah. So Critical was kind of first introduced to me through one of my friends who showed me the Halogenics' Velvet EP. The Bledge tune on it was like, yeah, a thing my friends were all raving about, and then yeah, I kind of started going through all the back catalogue from there and started following the label from there, and yeah.
Yeah, my name's MC Mantmast. I'm an MC for Critical, amongst others, and yeah, I've been working with the Critical guys for about 12 years now, on and off. All right, cool. So yeah, my first introduction to Critical was a long time ago, probably just before I moved to London, 2009, 2010. They used to do the drum and bass arena shows quite regularly, and had guys like obviously Kazra, Rockwell, FD on there too. So that was probably my first introduction for all the videos and stuff that they were doing on DNBA. And then once I moved to London the following year, I was fortunate enough to be working with the guys soon after. So yeah, last 12, 13 years, long time.
Hi, I'm Meg and I'm label manager for CriticalMusic. So the label was probably first introduced to me in probably around 2015, 2016 by my sister. But at that point, I was very much at the start of my drum and bass journey. So I was deep in the 2015 jump up, I'm not gonna lie, but I don't regret anything. And then I've obviously kind of moved on to more hospitality, liquid, and then finally landed on minimal. And that really changed the game for me. And Critical was like, you know, I was kind of moving across labels, and Critical is just like where I landed, and I just completely fell in love with the label, and I was just like, you know what, working for them would just be the dream. So I'm so grateful to be sitting here today working with the label that I love.
Hi, my name's Jazz, also known as and I'm super excited for the Critical Night at Fabric. Critical was first introduced to me in 2018, I think it was. I was working with the label on one of their events at Studio 338, the Summer Sonics. Critical means to me, I guess it's like the first label that I probably listened to like minimal and more of that techie side of drum and bass. Before that, I'd really been listening to more like floaty liquid and dance floor and stuff, so it really opened that door for me.
Myself and the label have been really lucky to have marked some pretty memorable sort of chapters in the label's history here. There's been quite a lot of events that have really stood out and felt like quite iconic, not only for me personally, but for the artists we've worked with. I mean, some of I could list, there's probably quite a lot I could list, but the ones that really spring to mind straight off. I think for me, the first time that Alex Enai played here. That was pretty incredible. It was a Room 2 show. It was pretty rare, well, certainly rare in drum and bass for a Russian artist to come over. It was very hard for Russian nationals to get into the UK. We worked really hard to get him over, and he was riding the crest of real excitement behind what he was doing. And then I remember just that there was like a real tangible sense of excitement in the room, because people didn't really know if he was going to show up or not. It felt quite strange, because he was like a bit mythical. It wasn't like Burial or something, but those people didn't know if he would show up. And then when he came on stage, and his English wasn't great at the time, for obvious reasons. He didn't live in England, and he just came on and just fucked the place up, and it was just incredible. And I remember him playing Cracker, which was his tune with East Colours and Noel, which was the kind of defining Critical tune at that time for him. And just like, he dropped it, and there's a little bongo section that comes in, and everyone just went bananas at just this little bongo thing, and it was just like, I just felt like, wow, this is so cool. And it just felt really, really exciting.
Critical means to me a very big thing, actually, because as I said, I've always been trying to be on that label. So once I got the response from Casra, I was really, really happy, you know, because I knew that it's going to be a big thing for me, you know, and it's still happening. So yeah. Yeah. So when I first time played in Fabric, there was definitely a Critical Music night, and it wasn't the whole night. I think there was on Room 1 there was like some dubstep people was playing, and the lineup was, I don't quite remember what was the lineup, but it was like some guest artists for Critical, like Break, someone else, and obviously me, like maybe Spectrosol, someone else, but I don't quite remember, but it was big anyway. It was really good. So my first Fabric experience to me was literally amazing, because I only just started my career playing shows abroad by that time. So back in like start of 2012, when I only been like in Czech Republic or like a couple of times in Germany, and then after that straight away there was Fabric. I was like, wow. And all the experience from start to finish, from the airport arrival to like, you know, going back home, it was just amazing, because some big luxury car came to me, to grab me in the airport, and I was like, wow, I never experienced that in my life, because it was only a start of my career, so that was actually perfect. And the club experience itself, it was amazing, because I heard so many good things about the club, because it's so legendary and everything. And and actually the first experience was in Room 2, and I think I enjoyed it more than Room 1 for some reason. I don't know, maybe because it's you know, like an open space, so there was like a proper like rave, and it was really, really loud as well, which was crazy.
What does Critical mean to you?
Critical kind of means to me, it's just like the pillar stone of kind of underground sonics to me, really. Like, just it is what underground music is, and it's always been my highest regard of kind of underground music. Yeah. Critical has kind of influenced me through, just pivotal kind of releases that have come out that have, always kind of made an impact on my sound. Another main one was Particles Binary, which kind of is like very, not more under the radar than other releases, but like I remember hearing that and being like, wow, like this is, you know, really cool, kind of a minimal kind of approach, because from where I kind of came from, the guy who taught me a lot was very much into kind of UK jump up, and this was very much a side that I appreciated more, really, that I didn't know about. So my kind of first Fabric experience is this in real life, basically. Obviously, I know about Fabric and how influential of a club it is, but it's really a pleasure to be on this lineup and be able to have my first experience as playing, which is an honour.
I mean, what does this venue mean to us, the label and myself, well, it's an institution, this place. It's steeped in history. I don't know anyone that doesn't want to play here. It's a notorious venue for being one of the best in the world. It's recognised internationally. And to be asked, when it was the early days of us playing here, being asked to do a residency here is a very honourable thing to have, being asked, really. So it means a lot, you know, to be asked to do that, come here every 3 months, I think it was, doing a curated show, working with the team. Back at the time, it was Dave Gamble and Sean, strong believers in us and wanting to, they saw a vision with us, I think. I think there was a sort of harmony between the Critical and Fabric then, you know, the sonics, the venue, just worked together. And having a team here at Fabric to allow us to do what we wanted, and having belief in the label, it's a really nice thing.
So my first show ever at Fabric was a Deep Medi night. So it was 140, it was heavy, it very much demonstrated the sound system here. And I just absolutely loved it. It was chaotic, and I loved that side of things. I loved that there was 3 rooms to explore. I got lost a few times, but I kind of liked that as well. But yeah, I think that's probably my favourite show as well, but I've never seen Critical here. Obviously, they had residencies here all the way back in the day. I was way too young to witness those, unfortunately, but I'm so excited to witness it next month, because it's just going to be unbelievable, and I feel like the lineup is really sort of time traveling back to that era. So yeah, so Fabric means a lot to the label, I think. You know, I mean, I never got to witness the amazing residencies that Critical had here, which is why, again, I'm so excited to be able to actually witness it in October. But I have very much delved deep into the archive, and I think I was most excited about the Fabric lineups that I saw and the history that was made here between Fabric and Critical. And I think it really shows what Fabric did for the Critical sound, and it really gave it a home, and it gave it a chance to really thrive into what it has today, which is why I think it's just like so special that we're coming back to celebrate 25 years. I think the relationship between the club and the label is really prominent, and I think at that show especially, it's definitely gonna be clear.
Okay, in terms of what Critical means to me, I'd say in one word, you can sum Critical up by saying that they're uncompromising in the type of drum and bass that the artists produce. You can't accuse them of ever selling out, and they've always remained true to their roots, which you've got to respect. I went to Fabric in 99, 2000, so not long after it had opened. I was very young, obviously, and I think Scratch Perverts were playing, maybe Rodney P as well, so we're talking, yeah, literally 25 years ago. Yeah, in terms of how the lineups have changed at Fabric over the years, yeah, the lineups have changed completely, you know, with the introduction of label nights. I think when it first started, it was just true players, but obviously over the years and decades, they brought more label nights into the fold, and yeah, completely diversified, so it's changed massively in those 25 years.
Another show that really stands out in the memory is the 10 years ago now, we did the Mephius Emulation album launch, and we were doing a party in the main club, but beforehand we did an album preview party. No one had heard the record, everyone was really, really excited about it. Like, Martin was super hyped, and we did a playback in room 3 for a limited amount of people. I think we had about 75 people in the room, and he talked through all the tracks and played the tracks on the sound system, which felt very, very sort of special and something that hadn't been done before. Well, we certainly hadn't done it before. But the thing that really like turned heads that night was that Martin played the demo version of his Sunday Crunk remix, and that tune has gone down in sort of history a bit. It's certainly one of the biggest Critical tunes, and for a good couple of years was one of the biggest tunes around in the scene. And yeah, he played that demo, and I just remember visibly seeing people's heads just get chopped off. It was amazing. And then that night we had the party in the main club, and it was just incredible. And then on a personal, I think, I just remember there was a team of Sean Roberts, who unfortunately passed away not too long ago now, and Dave Gamble, who were really pivotal in the label's growth and support, particularly as a live brand. I remember walking around with Sean one night, and just when this place is going off and all three rooms are happening, it's just, there's not really a feeling like it, I don't think. Particularly if you have, you know, a connection to the place. But I think we all, like, if you like electronic music and clubs and sound system culture, and hearing the music you love in the right spaces becomes just so important, because it's becoming increasingly, you know, more and more difficult to find the right spaces, particularly in the UK and London. So when you can walk around something of this kind of size, but that feels intimate, with just the best music happening in an incredible space, it's just a truly special thing. And I remember, actually on a couple of occasions, all three rooms packed, underground music of all different styles just going off, and just I feel very lucky to have experienced that. And I feel like I'm going to be lucky to experience it again in October. So yeah.
So for me, being a part of the 20 years of anniversary in Fabric, it's a really big thing, because first of all, I only played, last time I played in Fabric, it was like 9 years ago, even before the closure. So for me, it's very, how to say, like, it's amazing, basically, because I don't even remember how to play. What was that feeling of playing Fabric? So definitely it's gonna be a big experience for me, and I'm gonna feel that feeling that I felt like back in 2012, because it's like pretty much as I'm playing here as the first time. So yeah. So I think, and also. I only played in room 1 maybe like a couple of times, maybe just one time in my life. So playing room 1 is another great experience, because that booth and all that, you know, people around you and that vibe is just amazing. So yeah.
Has Fabric shaped Critical Sound? It certainly helped put us on the map, I think. I think we already had a sound that was tailored for this venue, so I think you've got to look at Fabric as a sort of a powerhouse, you know, look at it as a bigger picture of what this venue actually means to people. People come out from all over the world to come and partake in the atmosphere of this club and enjoy themselves. And I think, did it shape us? I think maybe in a way it did. I think also it worked cohesively alongside us, so it probably helped us progress in a way and give almost the label itself the confidence to keep going, because, you know, you talk to many people that are into Critical and they know their history about the label, and most of the time most people say like the nights at Fabric were what kind of introduced them to the sound of the label. So I think, yeah, I'd say it's helped develop the label into what it is today.
Yeah, okay, so on a personal level, being involved in the 25th celebrations, it's humbling, it's an honour. I still pinch myself when I play at Fabric, even though I've been playing here for quite a few years now. Yeah, I never take it for granted. It's a complete honour being invited to play at the event.
So when I first saw the lineup, my jaw dropped, and I was like, "Are you joking me?" it has, obviously, you've got the 3 rooms, but those 3 rooms are such a pick and mix of mental talent. You know, you've got throwbacks like Break, you've got Dubai, you've got Flight, you've got those artists that were on these lineups all the way back when we had the residency. But then equally, you've got the room which has got our binary heads. You know, you've got SMG, you've got Vizsla, Spectral, you've got Particle, you've got QZB back to back, Charlie Bricks, which I think is probably the set I'm looking forward to the most. Not to say that I'm not excited for everyone else's, but I have always loved the relationship between the boys and Charlie when she's on their tracks. And I think to see the dynamic of both of them playing with each other is just going to be unreal. I think the energy is going to be wicked. So, yeah, but, you know, I'm excited to see what everyone does, because I think especially some of the older heads, I think because it's going to be quite a nostalgic night, they're going to want to play some of the older stuff, and that's going to be really special for, you know, all the people that were going to those nights and got to experience them, but equally for the people that didn't get to and did miss out, and they get to experience, you know, the magic of Critical Sound at Fabric.
All right, so in terms of who I'm looking forward to seeing at the night, I'd say the 2 artists that stand out to me are probably Particle and SMG. Particle I've worked with quite a lot over the last couple of years, and he always brings something fresh and new to his sets. And SMG, I only worked with him once or twice in Bristol, and yeah, he always brings the heat. So yeah, really exciting DJ that I'm looking forward to see him play.
So probably for me, the most interesting thing I would like to hear in that night, I would say Inside Info Classic set. I would definitely listen to that, yeah, because it's you know, hearing classic drum and bass in Fabric is something else really for me, and maybe Dubai as well, because I didn't hear his sets back in the days when I was start playing the Fabric sets. So yeah, it would be really interested to hear what he's come up with in here in this place. So yeah.
Any moment now. So, who am I most excited to see play? So, bit of a curveball actually, because I'm actually most excited to see Vizsla, because I haven't seen him play before. Somehow, I've obviously, you know, heard mixes and stuff we've done together, and we've worked on tunes together and stuff, but I haven't actually seen a full length set from him. So yeah, I'm really kind of excited for that.
This lineup, well, this lineup, I think really, you've got to look at it in several ways for us. I think because we've got personal history with this place, and there are people that played here that helped us to get where we are today, really. So we're kind of revisiting some sort of people that are on the label that feel like should come back. It's kind of new, present, and future. No, sorry, scrap that. Past, present, and future, this lineup. So we've got a bit of everything, and it's for people new and old, you know, that want to come here. We're really proud of it. I'm really proud of it. I think it looks amazing, and it will sound amazing.
So people can expect from my set maybe some more darker vibes, you know, because it's like probably something that sends me back to that time when I, you know, used to play like 12 years ago here. Something like deeper and darker, and yeah, maybe I'm gonna play some edits of like Machine's album, because it was out back at that time 2012 when I started playing Fabric, so I was just playing my album for the first time. So maybe I'll do something, because I lost all the projects, unfortunately, but I can do something around it, you know, maybe like do like a remasters or something and then play it. So yeah.
In terms of what you can expect from me, I've been revising, I've been writing already ahead of this event. So yeah, I always try and bring something new in my sets lyrically. Yeah, so expect more of the same in terms of the hosting element, but yeah, lyrically I'm looking to bring something a bit different and a bit fresher.
So the kind of stuff you can expect from my set is, yeah, an overview of kind of what I've released this year, which, yeah, I've released the most music I have this year, which has been really fun, but also a snapshot of kind of what's to come, and yeah, kind of delving deeper, into more of my sound and how I can express that in this amazing venue, pretty much.
The most standout night we've had here. I mean, they've all been standout nights. I don't think there was ever a night that wasn't. And again, doing so many shows over the years, it's hard to pick one out that stands out. They all kind of blend into one, but I know all the vibes were equally as unmatched. I'd probably say Emperor's album launch was particularly one that stood out at the time when Connor was coming up through the ranks, putting his debut album out. Again, an album that was designed to sound perfectly in a venue like this in a way. We had a bunch of live singers. It was at the time when Solar was coming up through the ranks and she just had her first tune on Critical. So we got her in to do a live PA. So that would probably be one of the nights that stood out for me, actually, yeah. I mean, it's a bit silly to say all of them, but I think it's a shame because I'd love to see everyone play, but in a venue like this, you've got 3 rooms across this club, which are all playing 3 very good lineups. I mean, even one of the rooms would be an amazing lineup just to go for one night, so we're very lucky to have all 3. I might be a bit of a room 3 head. You know, there's some good people in there. There's Jamie, SMG. It's great to see Vicious Circle playing in there. Paul Inside Info, good friend of mine. He'll be doing a classic set, so there might be a moment where I'm going to be in there for a bit, I think. So yeah, catch me in there. So
Critical means to me a hell of a lot. It's quite hard to say. You know, it is, not to be biased, but it is, you know, my favourite label in the entire world. Majority of my favourite songs have come from this label. It's taught me so much about past drum and bass and future drum and bass and going forward, but also staying grounded, staying true to the sound. And I think, like, I've just learnt so many lessons, and it's just incredible to be able to work with such amazing people and just make the memories that I have, because they're going to stick with me forever. And I just absolutely love being able to work on those events that I was in the crowd for, because I still just look at those faces and I just, like, I still see myself, you know, we're all little ravers at heart, do you know what I mean? So yeah, I think I just love what Critical stands for, and yeah. I think it's really important to keep doing shows like this, especially at clubs like Fabric, because, you know, these are the clubs that allow the underground music and underground as a whole, you know, not just drum and bass, to thrive. It's always given it a home and a place to just, you know, develop over the years and just become what it has today. There's so many amazing clubs that we've lost, and I think it's really important to, you know, fight for these ones that we still have, make the most of them, enjoy them. And, you know, Fabric has given opportunities to so many artists. It's just, like, it's unthinkable. And some of the artists that have played here are just legendary, and I think that's what makes coming back here so special, because we, as a label, you know, we want to make sure that we stay true to the music, and I feel like Fabric's always allowed that. to happen?
I mean, what is a club really? Whether it's Fabric or a 100-cap venue or bar that's playing out drum and bass, what it makes it's community really, I think. It brings people into one space where everyone can be easily forgotten about that, you know, what's this music all about really? It's to come to a space like this and enjoy it for what it should be, not through a phone. You want to feel it in your chest. It's community, it's bringing you closer to the artists you admire. You want to hear them, you want to see them in person, you want to actually experience and get the full experience of coming to a night. I think, you know, doing club nights is still essential, you know. There might be less of them now, but the ones that we're doing are important. We put all our time and energy into it. We want to make it the best night for someone that's been coming to our nights for 10 years, for someone that's coming here for the first time. And we're just proud to be back in a venue like this, because it's kind of like going back in history a little bit for Critical coming here. It means a lot to us coming back here and doing it for the first time, doing it in 3 rooms. I'm actually really excited myself, so you got to come.
I think Fabric as a venue is really important to the development of the Critical Sound event brand, if you like, because they were the first people to take a risk on us, the first people to give us a platform to do what we do, and then in turn, because it was a success, they gave us the confidence to do it elsewhere. You know, we're lucky enough to have done it across the world now, you know, everywhere from Printworks to Fabric, obviously, to Australia, New Zealand, Japan, you know, all these kind of places. And sometimes you need someone to take a punt on you, because you can believe in it, but sometimes you need other people to believe in it as well, I think, particularly in something where you need a crowd to make it happen. And also I think that their ethos of supporting underground music and underground culture is something that we really, you know, embraced, and I mean, that's what Critical's all about. So to see them continue to do that after 25 years is really encouraging, and it aligns completely with what we're doing. I think for the underground community and dance music community as a whole across the world, Fabric is a really important space. It's really important for me and the label to do shows like the one we're doing in October at venues like this, because it's a real showcase of what we're about, I think. And increasingly it's easy to kind of put shows out there that are like to sell tickets and to not necessarily represent what you stand for. I think more and more it's become important that you have to really, like, well, for me anyway, and the label, I think it's really important to double down on what you are about. And, you know, our fan base wants to come and see the artists that are affiliated with Critical. That's why we've got 3 rooms that cover the spectrum of what the sound is. But then also we want people to know that, like, you're going to be able to hear the best in underground drum and bass in probably one of the best, no, not probably, one of the best clubs in the world. So it all ties in together, right? Like we make music so that we can share our music with people, and you want to share your music on great sound systems in great spaces so that people have an experience that comes together and just creates something that's really enjoyable, right? It doesn't have to be an education, it doesn't have to be like this po-face thing. You want to enjoy yourself, particularly at the end of a hard week. You've been working, you want to like let loose a bit. But I think, you know, the way the world is, these things become more and more important. And to me, you're rolling the dice with everything you do now, particularly when you're asking people to spend money, because not everyone has the money to be able to come and spend it on something like going to a club. And you want to represent yourself in the best way so that the people who do come get the best of what they're expecting. So yeah, that's why we do it. So with the lineup, we really wanted to represent the kind of 360 of what Critical's about, and have, it's not about necessarily the past, present and the future, but just, we've got the core label acts who we've been working with for quite a few years now. But there's people like Break who haven't played for us in London for, I think, over 10 years. And Charlie was a really, really key figure in the early days of the label. He's a fantastic producer and DJ, as we all know, someone who we all support playing his music. He has a fantastic label called Symmetry. So having him come back and play his first show for us in a long while, particularly back at Fabric, felt like something we really, really wanted to do. But it's about having balance as well, and you know, people like Breakage coming through, who again was a really important figure for the label early on, hasn't played for us for quite a while. Then the newer school of artists like SMG and Envy, and just, I really want to make sure that when we do a lineup, it's really balanced and a really good representation of the artist, but also of the label, and just to give people something where they look at it and they're like, I don't want to miss out on that, because that just feels like something I want to go to. If you like our section of the scene, this is like the thing you want to do.
We're not far off 25 years. So, you know, when it's something as important as that, that's something we're already sort of talking about, and it's sort of starting to fizzle away in the critical office. So I think we've got very good things and ideas at the moment for 25 years. It's only 2 years away now. So something as special as that takes a little bit of extra special planning, I think. So watch this space.
So what's next for Critical? Well, I don't particularly want to tell you that, to be honest. I like surprises. I like when I see something line up and I'm like, you know, on my sort of feed, or I see a surprise and I'm like, stop, that's exciting, you know? But just know that there is, of course, a lot of good music to come, a lot of exciting names. And we've got our 25-year anniversary very soon. And I don't know how it's closer to that than it was 20 years at Printworks, because I'm still actually getting over that. But obviously just know that's always a special one, anniversary. And 25 years, that's mad. Do you know what I mean? That's a long time. That's a lot of good music. So yeah, just stay tuned. But I'm not telling you anything else.
So what's next for Critical? I mean, I get asked this quite a lot, and the answer can be a little bit boring because it's more releases and more events, but I think with everything we do, it's about progression. So everything we do, we try and do better than the last time. We won't try and push the artists to make better music, to collaborate in different ways that make things more interesting, bring some more diversity to what we do. But yeah, we're going to keep chipping away at what we do. Drum and bass is in a bit of a funny spot, but we're just trying to keep our head down and do what we do best.